You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 5th meeting for the LaPorte County Soil and Water Conservation District Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Well, we'll call the meeting to order. First order of business is approval of meeting minutes
From June. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from June.
I second that motion.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Need approval of the treasurer's report?
I make a motion that we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
And a second.
We'll second that motion.
Anything on the question on that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of claims. That's you.
Operating expenses for the month were $19,645.07.
That's all you wanted to say about it?
You gotta approve them.
Yeah. Need approval of the claims.
Is your salary in there, Chris? Because I'm not going to approve it.
Oh,
I make a motion we approve the claims.
I will second that motion.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Whole business activity reports, staff. Whoever
You want me to go?
wants
You wanna go?
Jumping right into staff reports.
Yep.
Go ahead, Chris.
Just a few things here. Obviously, we have our new hire starting on the 18th. Was very diligent on getting her references out, getting those returned, and I sent those all to you, so you saw how positive they were, and we even got a couple of others that were unsolicited that have worked with her or had some kind of, relationship with someone that she knows, and those were very positive as well. She had her drug test last week and starting the 18th. And as you notice, the agenda has a bit of a new look to it, as with many other things. There's a kind of a new format that needs to be adhered to. This kind of matches up more with what the commissioners' agendas are. I have to list all of our board members and their positions over on the side. I did have roll call listed there as well, Don. And then, just kind of the order of things, just a new way of doing things that for us to follow along the way we're supposed to. The clean water grant was submitted. Paul will probably talk about that at length. And then part of that submittal was a request for reimbursement. So the first 50% of that grant just came in up front. And now we've spent all that. On top of that, now I have to submit a request for reimbursement, which requires a little bit of detail. And then I learned last week that every time I submit a request for reimbursement, then we have to do a whole new report.
So it makes sense to do that. We'll have to do that every time we do a reimbursement request.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
So I'll try and hold off on that as much as possible. And if you see on the grant report, there's kind of a negative, obviously, balance there. The majority of that is has already been the reimbursement on this.
Thank you.
The reimbursement, I think it's So a good chunk of that has been requested for reimbursement, and then there were others that are getting paid on these claims that I couldn't request yet because they haven't been paid yet. So it's just kind of a timing thing.
Is there a way to streamline that so your timing matches up? And
This was because of the deadline for the grant report was the 31st. And so our board meeting is on the 5th, so it just depends on when it gets submitted, I guess. Normally the deadline for the report is it's biannually. So, but if we do a reimbursement request quarterly, then we wouldn't have that problem. We had 25 attendees to the legislative breakfast. A couple of board members were able to attend as well. We had 3 council. Didn't have any commissioners. State senator. It was pretty good, and I thought Miguel Romero did very well. It was pretty well attended. Food was great as always. The service agreement has been signed with Wilderness Inquiry for the River Days. Still trying to find accommodations. They do not want to stay where they've been staying for at least the last 3, maybe 4 years, because they don't want to drive 40 minutes all of a sudden. So I've been looking for Airbnbs in LaPorte, and there's no availability during those dates. Now resorted to looking at hotels in Knox.
Wow.
So Stark County Soil and Water is looking into those. That could get a bit hairy here as we get closer to the dates. And I did submit the invoice for the $15,000 to Scott P. Lath. And just, I guess Elizabeth is working on the plat book photos. She's going to have those to me by the 1st of September. Hopefully the release date on the plat book will be September, October, probably October sometime. Had like half dozen people ask in the last month. So that's about it.
Okay, I gave you updates on these reports. This is basically what Chris had to work with when he put his report together with Sandra while I was out Wednesday, Thursday. So I got this to Chris earlier in the week, and thank you, Chris, for that. Tried to pare this down as best as I could in my fashion, and hopefully, each step of the way we'll just be able to be more succinct. But comes down to 8 projects, or what we have, totaling up to just in excess of 50 acres. I didn't make 50 acres. I made 50.375. That was because of Larry Cadwell at his 5.375. So the latest news is that we're doing a 8.5 acre understory project with Friendship Botanic Gardens. They're head over heels, ready to go on that. So at Wednesday, I'm going to go up and start working on the plan. The actual plan will be fast. It's essentially, these are the trees we're going to keep, and this is the stuff that's going. And then in theory, you have all that understory growth that's suppressing the understory. You remove that, and you're going to get a burst from the seed bank that's in there. And then on top of it, we're going to plant it to establish our pollinator. And we're looking for some fashion of a trail. So it's a passive recreation amenity for them. Probably the nicest part of that is Hitachi is going to double our funds. So Hitachi shot it up the flagpole, and I guess they came back and they're going to match our offerings from CWI to make it an even better project. So $23,000 plus another at least 23 I'm anticipating. They're asking me, how can we fund this after the grant so that it's sustainable and that, we're going to keep putting money into the project annually. So it's really turning into a nice relationship with the Hitachi folks. On the project across the road on Route 2, the old county barn project. We had a contractor by the name of Dave Simmons, somebody I've known out of Michigan for quite some time. He came in and really did a nice job of tabbing onto the work that we did through Tree Corps, all paid through the grant. We had the matching funds. And wow, if there's an opportunity for you guys to go over there and take a look at it, it's a whole new ball of wax over there. It's nice and open. You can see the role of the topography leading up to the barn. All the invasive species are out. And so an idea that I bounced by Chris and actually mentioned it to Sasha is, as the county stormwater director, I'd really like that to be an outdoor education space. I thought that could be a coordinated effort between SWCD, the stormwater department, and for use by solid waste, should they, through their education programs. I'm having Dave mock up a local native timber. So I'm thinking about a amphitheater type thing where there's benches underneath the cottonwood tree that's on the site. Nice and shady and cool by the water. Beautiful, inspiring overlook. I would envision a nice spot for us to do our outdoor classrooms when the weather's nice. Sasha was head over heels excited about it. Connie Grammarosa said, "No, that's a good idea," and was really excited about it. And so I'm just going to have him mock up a bench, have that ready and out there, and then start asking him, okay, what would it take to do 3? What would it take to do 6? And see if that's something we can maybe pull from our NACD grant for outdoor education and outreach. So that's something you and I can talk about, Chris. I just wanted to get the board's feedback on that idea, to have an outdoor science space that's right there across the street from us. Not knocking anything else, but it's this stuff that we're creating right around here. It just seems to make sense to me. Have people come here and then really have the offerings. We got a marsh over there. We have so many opportunities to do great conservation and show it off and talk about any multitude of things related to water and land resources. We could have days where we talk to farmers. We could have areas that it is adjacent to a farm field. I'd really like my thing to be to start talking to farmers about buffer strips and offsets, something that doesn't really get mentioned often enough. I think this used to be a thing and seems to be cast aside now. So that's my staff update. If you guys have any questions about the materials, I really do like getting feedback.
I have a question. Is that across the street? Is that something that's accessible to the public, or would it just?
It's county. Yep, it's county-owned property. We have to work at that plan. I would have to present to the commissioners and let them know, just like I let them know, and got approval to do that clearing work. And just after, I thought we could talk amongst ourselves, and then I can present to the commissioners at one of their meetings, say this is what we'd like to do.
I was saying, we would maybe have to, where the home is and where the asphalt is currently, maybe have a parking area. And then, a path or steps.
The simpler, the better. I think, if we can make provisions to make it safe, there's parking area there. We're not talking about 50 cars.
No.
The other idea that I had, I'm reaching out through my contact at NIPSCO, who knows the Audubon folks real well, Steve Barker. Great Lakes Audubon, I'd really like that to be a designated birding spot. There are marsh wrens out there. You don't see marsh wrens every day. It takes a special habitat. There's a lot. That would be an indicator species that there's just a lot of bird counting to do out there when you have aquatics, and then we're going to do the upland restoration next door. And it's a big 12 acres of upland next to at least a 10-acre water body. So I think it lends itself to some pretty amazing stuff. So if you get that on a map, and people are doing their competitions and their bird counts, you have that as a pull-off. It's on a map somewhere, the SWCD bird watching overlook. So we were thinking about a simple deck that's not crazy elevated, just gets you up a little bit so you can see over the reeds, get down into the marsh. So a few ideas. Other than that, things are going great. MS4 has finally got a stormwater operating fund, so I can give you guys one-on-one. I don't want to take SWCE time for that, but one-on-one. Don, I can update you on that separately, particularly.
Okay, thank you. We go to partner agencies, NRCS.
I did have a separate copy of the DC talking points from Kevin at NRCS if you want to look through that when you get a chance.
Purdue Extension.
I gave Chris some flyers for things that we have coming up. Just going in order. August 12th, they are doing a clean sweep of all pesticides at Penny Purdue Farm. So down in Wanata, you can bring up to 250 pounds of any kind of pesticide and it'd be no questions asked. So you can just dispose of it in a proper and safe way. It's not a way to just get rid of your containers though. So they don't want you just bringing containers. So if you want to help promote that, Porter County Soil Water, they're having a field day on August 13th. So if you would like to attend that one. We have our Penny Purdue field day on August 20th. So that flyer should be in there. It offers PARP and CCA credits for farmers, as well as it gives an update on crop diseases, weeds, and corn management. And then we also have an evening session for people that have to actually work during the day and can't make it. And you get a great pork chop lunch or dinner if you attend for free. And then we do have another UAV program coming up here in this room in September. And then I did just partner with Stark County Soil Water Conservation and did a field day in Hamlet last week, where they have a plot of land out there that they do no-till versus tillage. And so we had the soybean specialist from Purdue come up and he discussed pros and cons to each of them and how soybean management works versus tillage versus no-till.
We should do that here too.
We should.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How much acreage did you need to do something like that?
The one that they have is just 8 acres, and they just partnered with a local farmer, so it's not like something they had to purchase.
Kankakee River.
Advisory committee agenda is included in your packet.
Drainage Board.
Nothing.
ISDA.
Yes, the soil sampling registration is coming up beginning September 2nd through October 17th. I can have more information next month. I can print out brochures and stuff. But there's an email too I can send Chris if you want more information. And then the next state soil conservation board meeting is September 9th down in Winnemac at the county library. If anybody wants to go, normally they're down in Indianapolis. So for them to kind of move around the state and from the beginning of this area is kind of cool.
Yeah, you want to encourage
It's refreshing actually.
Right? Yeah.
Say what that is again.
That's the State Soil Conservation Board. They meet, like every other month or something like that.
Is Gene still on that board?
Yes, he's president.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the president.
Sorry.
September 9th.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock, that's Eastern time, so 8 o'clock. Central.
Okay. I've got it written down. If you think of it, if you want to send me, I don't know if you have an email or something.
Yeah, I can forward you something.
That's one I'd like to.
Because you can get online too. It's all virtual if you can't make it down there.
Okay.
And then CREP for Kankakee Watershed. That's the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program.
Mm-hmm.
We have 8 signed agreements so far, and 4 are located in LaPorte County.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Excellent.
It's moving along. That's all I have.
Are you able to tell people where those are, who they are, or is that all?
I probably wouldn't. Yeah,
Okay.
we have 4 in the southern part of the county.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all.
Annual plan of work.
The NRCS local work group resource meeting, I've been corresponding back and forth with Kevin at NRCS. And, due to their kind of furloughs and layoffs and all that, the cutbacks, he essentially told me that don't worry about doing that this year. Just use last year's rankings. Honestly, the only participation we had were people that would come to our board meetings.
Yeah.
So, that we're not going to do that this year. And then I know the district newsletter, which we haven't done in at least 3 or 4 years. That's one of the things that our new hire wanted to, she was asking about, I think.
The newsletter?
If she could start doing that. So that might be a thing again. So
That'd be a good thing to distribute to a potentially larger audience.
I think that was struck up in conversation between us, and I suggested that we could do a joint one, and I literally had a name for it, the Basin. It's like a quarterly. Kind of goes along with what we're doing over here. And she said she'd love to do that, and I thought it could be an MS4/SWCD newsletter. Rather than, we might as well, office of 3, pooling resources is not a bad thing.
That's a good thing.
Is this digital or a printed thing?
Probably
both.
Probably, we were envisioning. What do you think about that? Because I know Save the Dunes probably does one, right? You do.
Ours is all digital. It's a big expense. That's the thing for the printing.
I think that's something we'd love feedback on.
Do you share email?
I don't have strong feelings about going to print.
That was my next question.
Because we don't really have much of an email list.
I'd like restoration notes type stuff for social media. We talked about a lot of stuff that I'm feeling like, wow, I've got somebody that we can work and collaborate with really well. So the newsletter was one of many things we discussed, how to handle social media posts, how we'd use the space over here if we do that. So I'm looking forward to her starting.
The only other thing is with a printed copy, then you'd want to do recycled paper probably and things like that. So it does get a little more pricey. And that's why a lot of people just do digital because of the environmental impact. So, just some things to think about.
Attend the county budget hearing. Is that passed already?
That was already passed, yeah.
Did
that was in July. It should be moved to July.
Yeah, it was mid-July.
Any other business? Our next meeting is September 9th. There's no other business. We stand adjourned. Thank you much.
Thank you.